Gloria Jagaba, who hails from Niger State, north-central Nigeria, developed artistic abilities during her childhood days. But a typical and pervasive Nigerian mentality forced her to pursue a different career path.
I always mention my dad. He himself was a technical teacher. He was into metal work. Sometimes we used to follow him to his workshop, and he was always encouraging us to be innovative. And personally, with the experience of going to his workshop and watching young people do innovative things, encouraged me to also do something innovative. And I had special interests in my creative arts class, where I learned most of the crafts that I used to do as hobbies. Initially, I wanted to study fine arts. That was what I wanted because I had interest in fine arts back then in school. But you know, the African syndrome, like, no, do something more professional. And that's how, along the line, I saw myself. I discovered architecture, which was kind of artistic, at the same time technical and also professional. And then still the background in architecture grew my creativity to be able to venture into what I'm doing today.
She spent 3 unfulfilled years working a full-time paid job in the architectural space until she realized that she could channel her inner creativity and stand out among her contemporaries with design background.
I was sitting at work and putting these lines together, and I just imagined from this single line, I came up with this very big building, printing on a big sheet. Came back home and I was actually working on my craft as a hobby as usual, and I married both of them. So if I can actually sit down on a daily basis putting these single lines together and coming up with massive buildings, I can actually put these few strands together and come up with very elaborate rugs. And that's how I decided to pick that particular craft. And I felt having decorative rugs in houses was becoming very trendy. So I thought this is something that I think I can expand. Even though the market, Nigerian market, is filled with lots of mass-produced rugs. So I thought coming up with one that's handcrafted will actually be different and thrill people.
How were you able to, successfully transit to having your own business? I mean, were you not scared of, leaving the known for the unknown?
I was scared. I lost the idea of starting my own business about a year into when I eventually left my work. Even though as young people, sit down, how much am I even earning? It's so small. But detaching from it was really very difficult. Looking back at what I always wanted to be gave me the motivation to okay, just do it. You can't just keep dreaming it and be afraid to do it. And they always say courage is not the absence of fear, but the overcoming of it. I did a lot of research, a lot, and backed it up with trainings. Read a lot of books. Research cannot be overemphasized in running your own business. It's something that you're going to keep doing throughout. Up to now, sometimes I stay up to 1 a.m. just researching, both general running of a business, generally speaking, and then your particular business. So you need to really research and see what has been done, what can be done, or what is being done with this simple thing, because there are little things really that grow up to be big enterprises tomorrow. So you just have to keep reading, learn about money, learn how to manage people, how to grow whatever you are choosing to do as a business.
Many aspiring entrepreneurs are confronted with the hydra-headed issue of funding a startup business. And Gloria's experience when she launched out 4 years ago was no different.
Funding was also a very big challenge for me, or is still a challenge. Though it's not the biggest challenge of any startup, but you just need money to start anything. Even to leave your house in the morning, you need money. So to actually venture into, even if you write a 100-page business plan, you need money to implement it. I practically started on zero. and needed now to even research how do people start business from zero capital. And you can start our own kind of business with very little capital using locally sourced materials. Like for the manual skill, you use normal sack that you use in packaging foodstuff in our local market, and then a tufting needle. We call it tufting needle, but in the open market it's just the same needle that's used to stitch the sack, and then your knitting yarn, which is used in making cardigans. So with just those simple tools, you can actually start our own business as a home business, just the way I started, and then gradually grew into buying the simple tufting gun machine and the advanced machine for carpet production. There are lots of funding bodies out there that are actually looking for people to fund, but it's when you're able to prove how you can make money out of this, how the business can sustain itself, take care of you, the owner, and even the people you're employing. Once you're able to convince the funding bodies about these things, funding is no longer a problem. You meet other bigger challenges that you can even see the money and like, no, this is not my problem right now. I need to sort this one out before the money.
Gloria displays a responsible approach to tasks, which comes as no surprise as she brazenly undertook an uncommon business venture while also contributing to nation building through her craft.
There are many rugs out there, really, in the market, mass-produced, imported into the country, but production of them locally is very uncommon. Even though when people see us doing the craft, they're like, I know this thing, I've seen someone doing it before, but most people don't do it as a business. And then with further research, I realized, okay, I found how I can actually gradually bring in machine production and combine it with the manual craft to come up with unique finishes that are not commonly seen in the market. And that's part of objectives, to make people aware that this thing that you see in the market and you think it's all imported, it's not commonly done. It's not true. You can actually do it yourself. And we train young, passionate people because our vision is to one day have a network of hand-tufting young entrepreneurs nationwide. So we train young people with the aim of empowering them to train others tomorrow and to make them self-reliant.
In recent times, right, rugs and carpets have given way to tiles and various other forms of floor coverings. Now, how has the market acceptance of your craft been?
As you said, tiling of floors is now the new trend. Everybody builds house and you just put it, I'm going to tile my house. And you can live comfortably in a house with your tiles, especially considering our weather. But rugs, decorative rugs, are still very trendy, advisable, and they add comfort. You know, even though you don't directly feel the comfort, but it gives this feeling of comfort, luxury, beauty to your home. Even though the products are attractive, but the market is not ready-made, especially for the complete handmade products. But the mass-produced ones that have lower prices are actually easily sold. Yet, again, as I said, the market is not automatic. So we have to do some extra work to actually convince people to buy the products, even though people appreciate them. We've gotten many people who learn not to even do it as a business, but to just decorate their own homes or other interiors. So yes, it's not a common business like so many other crafts, but it's something that hopefully we'll be able to actually promote until everyone can easily get it done.
Beyond that, she highlights even more disturbing problems that could stifle the potential of small and medium enterprises for a vibrant private sector-driven economy.
If we had electricity from the national grid, we actually spend like 20% less than what we spend on daily basis on production. So one of our challenges. And then getting skillful hands to work. Our economy is very bad. Everybody wants to make quick money. Nobody really wants to work. So getting people to work with you dedicatedly, with passion, is a very big challenge too. Penetrating the market is another one. The fact is that an average Nigerian appreciates the foreign products compared to the homemade products. Times where you actually buy imported things and you'll be disappointed. Homemade things are actually designed for us, for our weather, for our economy, for our lifestyle. But convincing people that this homemade product is actually better or is good enough for you. So penetrating the market is another problem.
Tuft Craft Studios, which became operational in 2012, with an unsuspecting Gloria and just her manual craft, has today grown to accommodate more members of staff and machinery for large-scale productions. She shares a few business principles.
Patience, perseverance are very key to any business. And as a senior colleague will always say that every business began as a one-man business, no matter how big it is today. Whether it's a PLC today, it began as a one-man business, and that one person had to be very patient and persevere. Most young people today are not patient. Everybody wants to do everything at the same time. Want to graduate today and tomorrow have this good paying job with so many zeros, where I want to build a house, I want to buy a car, I want to wear the best designer clothes. They want to just have everything at once, forgetting that you have to be patient. And when you talk to most people who have succeeded reasonably, there was this period of lots of patience and perseverance. There will be times when, the money is sometimes that is the motivating factor for wanting to even start your own business may be lacking completely. So, but with patience, perseverance, and discipline, having the discipline to know how much time to allocate to your business. Reverend Father George Husani will always say you cannot succeed in any aspect of life without discipline. And he summarized discipline as simply doing what you have to do, whether you like it or not. And then don't make money your only motivator, because you'll be disappointed. You'll be very disappointed. Because success is not even all, success in business is not just the money, which even I think I erroneously thought so too, that all business people are all about money. But it's not true. There's a lot more that motivates an entrepreneur than just money. We'll demonstrate how to make a foot mat, which can be done in about 30 minutes. The another 30 minutes to do the finishing. But the tufting process, within 30 minutes, you can get a foot mat done. And we're coming up with a new idea. We have lots of foot mats in the market with welcome. So we're trying to make it indigenous by replacing the word welcome with our indigenous language, at least starting with the major languages. We have a kabo, salam, common among most Hausas. So we'll just quickly demonstrate making the foot mat with no inscripted on it. So we call this primary backing material, where the rugs are tufted upon. This is like the base, alternative to this sack that we use for the manual skill. And then usually we'll draw the patterns on it and identify the colors that are going to be used. I'll have templates like this for easy repetition of the patterns.
When you finish that, no, you tell us.
So the output is on the reverse. This is actually the back of the rug. this is a footmat with welcome written in Igbo language. No.
Though still a very young business, its achievements exemplifies the maxim that success is opportunity meets hard work. In partnership with the National Youth Service Corps, under the Skills Acquisition and Entrepreneurial Development Program, a good number of youths have been empowered.
Working with Gloria has really empowered me. It was one of the main reasons why I chose to work with her, because she too is a young person and I'm young too, and it makes me think of other things I can do for myself and in a way impact other young people. And everything doesn't end with white collar job. There are things we can do with our hands and we'll be marveled at what we've done. If we can look inwards and think, we'll see that we may not even need the government to employ us. Small businesses help the economy by reducing unemployment and youth restiveness, and it keeps the young population busy, makes them not to think about crimes and all that.
The first time I saw an exhibition and they said you could have the opportunity to learn something like this, I was like, really? Wow, it was so beautiful, and immediately I came and registered, because I think most of the rugs usually come from Italy. We have to buy them from Italy. So if we can make them here, we don't need to import. We can do whatever we want. We can make it to suit our African themes, our African cultures. We can just do even our normal designs and prints on them now to depict Africa, to depict Nigeria. I'm sure very soon we'll be able to make people's faces, because now we have teddy bears that we make with colors. So I'm sure very soon you can start making images on rugs, and then somebody has the image in the house, like made in a rug form.
After this NYSC, definitely the reality will not come on you, and you need something to sustain yourself. We see this 19.8 that the NYSC is paying us is just 19.8, but when we finish, we look at it as a big amount of money that can sustain one. So after the NYSC, I would like to have something too that will be bringing in income, because if everybody is making something and doing something for himself rather than waiting for others to bring in something, and especially in Nigeria now that the government now is wanting to improve Nigerian made things, people consuming what we make here. When everybody is making one or two things, I am making this, you're making that, the shoes we wear, the clothes we wear, if they are made from one or two people, definitely the money is coming back to our country and it's in circulation, and it will make Nigeria a better place.
Gloria Jagaba has tasted both worlds of paid employment and employer of labor, and she advocates for more concerted efforts towards enterprise development in Nigeria.
I have a vision to be a leading producer of handmade rugs in Nigeria and have a network of rug producers, young passionate people who are self-reliant from using their hands. So that's that vision that keeps me going every day. Like, okay, if you began alone, today you have two people who are very dedicated, it's like share your passion. Don't know you can increase them to 5, 6, 10 tomorrow is when you keep working. The dream will not just actualize itself by just putting that down on paper and probably reading it out or selling it out on its own. You have to work on it on a daily basis, because I think there's more fulfillment, especially if you are truly passionate generally about life. The best place you can find true fulfillment is being an entrepreneur. Though it's not going to be easy, but that can be achieved is encouraging entrepreneurship. So So for any economy really to grow, most economies that are thriving today are through small businesses, and all big businesses have small businesses. So I think the reason why I would say young people should be more enterprising is one of the key ways we can actually grow our economy. Even though right now it may look as though it's almost impossible, the government has not prepared the grounds for us to actually encourage the young entrepreneur to succeed. But it's only by being enterprising that our economy can gradually grow to what we envision it to be.
So finally, what would be your parting words to that young Nigerian who's watching you right now and is getting really inspired to start his or her own business?
One word I have for young aspiring entrepreneurs is to be patient, be persevering, believe in yourself, be disciplined, be willing to start small, and research and learn from people who have gone ahead of you, and know that if they did it, you too can do it.